Beast Mortos is out, and the wild card entrant is the debuting Speedball Mike Bailey. And the crowd gave him a good reaction here, which is what you could expect. I mean, going to a place like, this was an audience that, I mean, we talked about, this was a big arena that they were running, but they hit it well, I would say. And the 3,500 or so that were here, they did make noise for a lot of the key spots. And a Mike Bailey debuting in this setting, it could have been a crapshoot of how they would react to Speedball Mike Bailey, but it came across well. Immediately gets the Speedball chance, and it was an identification that, like, we look at this guy, we know who he is, and it felt like a big deal that he was here, as opposed to confusion over perhaps who this guy is.
Agreed. I thought the crowd, like, you could hear maybe a small vocal minority just even cheer at like, this is, from what I gather, a new theme song. I actually really enjoyed it. It felt like very inspired by, Brass Monkey, but not in a way that felt like a ripoff. But just at the mere sort of like refrain of Speedball, these people were already, like, some people were already cheering. And then once they got confirmation with the name, I thought they gave him a great reaction tonight.
Yeah, maybe his alternate idea was to come out to the Canadian national anthem, and they decided maybe we shouldn't be doing that right now.
Well, he is representing Canada, the lone Canadian representative in this tournament.
So they begin, and I thought this was a great opponent for Speedball. Mortos is just like, he's such a great just utility player for this kind of the different places you can put him in with all different styles. Mortos misses this flying knee in the corner, so he goes to the floor and is hit by a Tope Con Hero with Bailey landing on his feet. Bailey hits a golden triangle, then a Liger Bomb out of the corner, and goes for Ultima Weapon, but misses as Mortos is out of the way, who grabs him with a pop-up Samoan, and then they fight on top. Mortos hits a military press slam from the top turnbuckle, follows with a backbreaker and discus lariat, but as he goes for the power bomb, Bailey counters with a Rana, does a moonsault knee drop, and then the tornado roundhouse kick. Maybe we'll call this the Canadian Visa. And he nails Mortos for the victory in 10 minutes and 57 seconds. So Bailey advances to the four-way next week. Really good outing for both of these guys. I thought a really great pairing for Bailey's debut in the company.
I think if you're looking for a match that'll get somebody excited about a new wrestler, I definitely think they achieved that here with Bailey. I don't know if you can find a better opponent to showcase this style at this level of, I guess, like, pushed wrestler than a Beast Mortos. I think they actually made each other's stuff look really good. Both of them were flawlessly executing everything that they were doing, which, it just in creation is very difficult. So I think it was a good debut, and I think, to me at least, and I think for a good chunk of the audience, Mike Bailey is another guy that you could just really advertise on a marquee, and people will get excited for it, because I think that was the effect he had on the indies at the very least. Like WrestleMania week. WrestleMania weekend's not, well, I guess we don't know about his status during WrestleMania weekend this year, whether or not he's free, but I'm assuming he won't be.
I think his days of those endurance weekends are a thing of the past.
It's going to feel very different without having like 12 like Speedball matches, to talk about and talking about which one would actually stole the weekend. But like, he's the type of guy that you can just show on a marquee next to somebody who's also a very good wrestler, and you can immediately get excited for that. So I'm looking forward to him getting pushed, at least to start. I hope a year from now we're not going to be speaking of him as just like a commander or like, a Beast Mortos, somebody who's like, again, like has that name card value, but isn't actually pushed, And I think the difference between wrestlers that actually get pushes and wrestlers that end up in more supporting roles is their ability to talk. And I know that's probably, Mike.
Well, that's his weakest part. Like, that's very clear.
So, but I'm really hoping that there's been some evolution in that department, and that he can build that for himself the way like a Ricochet has.
What if he was having difficulties securing his visa, and he gave over his power of attorney to Don Callis and the Don Callis family, and he will be there against his will and have a talker for him?
I mean, that pairing isn't the worst pairing, but I mean, anything to do with law and contracts and stuff.
They're batting 1,000. Yeah. The logic of debuting him in this tournament, I mean, yeah, he could have a great showing next week, but it's almost kind of puzzling if you put him in this tournament not to win. Like, let's give him the best introduction here. And I don't think a Kenny Omega Speedball match on a couple weeks' notice for a pay-per-view is the worst option of where you can go for this. Like Ricochet would be the bigger match with Kenny Omega. I grant you that. But I certainly don't think there would be that. There's much of a difference than going with Speedball, and it's a really exciting match to build. I mean, either option you're talking about a.
Will they do a double Canadian international title match though?
Oh yeah, I thought you were going to talk about like a double finish next week, which is always in the offer. We could get a 5-way next week out of that 4-way. They all have simultaneous pins, and they all lay claim to your international champion. I wonder what a battle of Canadians would generate in a big American city like Philadelphia. I mean, the options are endless.
Probably pretty positive reaction.
Yeah, it might be.
I don't think they care as much. Yeah. If you like this video, consider joining our Patreon, the Post Wrestling Cafe. Multiple bonus podcasts every week, ad-free shows, and access to our full archive. Otherwise, a like and subscribe is much appreciated. Thank you for watching.